We are live.
Oh, wow. Hey.
Hi,
everybody.
This is experiment week. We're experimenting things.
Yeah, so I was doing my experiment week recording on Twitch yesterday, and I think it might have been Technomensch, but forgive me if I'm misattributing. Said, like, would you stream top 5? And I said, no, because I didn't want to promise that we would always stream top 5. But then when we were doing it today, I was like, oh, well, we're going to be in StreamYard anyway. Maybe we should do this. So I don't want to promise that we'll always do it.
But we're experimenting.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you have snow days. You have hurricane days.
We're getting a hurricane in Los Angeles this weekend.
I was a little caught off guard because I didn't expect to see that when I was perusing the weather for the next 2 days.
Experiment, says Cliff Singer.
We have a friend coming in this weekend, and we're wondering, like, is it going to be
your friend named Typhoon?
No, it's Julie. So we're wondering if it's going to be
Typhoon
safe for her
Julie?
to fly back out Sunday.
Yeah, Sunday is when the winds and the rain are going to be happening. Whether it's actually a so I keep seeing it called a hurricane and a typhoon. Like they can't quite decide which one it's supposed to be.
Aren't they the same thing effectively?
They are, but it's location.
Yeah.
Like it's a hurricane in the Gulf of Mexico. It's a typhoon in the Pacific near Japan. And then it's a cyclone if it's in the Indian Sea. Is that right? I can't remember.
Something
I may have
like
the cyclone one wrong, but they're all the same thing. And because we never have them here, I think people are like, what do we call it?
I will say I spent the past couple of days unknowingly just kind of stucco patching some parts of my house, and I'm glad I did because at least those holes that were there and now filled in will not be waterlogged. Cross fingers.
Cliff Singer says typhoon is southern hemisphere. Oh, that could explain the mixed use because maybe this one starts as a typhoon but then becomes a hurricane.
Like when I was in Taiwan and Japan, they referred to them as typhoons. Unless you're meaning cyclone.
Oh yeah, and they're northern hemisphere. That's right. Well, we should probably record top 5.
Yes. Let me get a single on you. Let me remove my face. Oops, nope, that's not removing my face.
That's the opposite of removing your face.
All right, you look like in focus, which is good.
Good.
I did notice on the last batch, the last one was out of focus, but I don't know what happened.
I think we should always double check it because I think what Joe and I have worked out is that this camera will slowly go out of focus. So if I turn on the camera and do something in the morning and leave it, it may be out of focus by the time of DTNS. So that might have happened with top 5.
Ah, interesting. Yeah, no, that makes sense because like the first ones you do are fine, and then it's just like the last one was kind of soft. But cool. We're recording, so we're gonna start with the WAS, the job WAS. And just count yourself in and go.
Okay, here we go. Three, 2. I'm Tom Merritt from Daily Tech News Show. Here are 5 things Jobs and Woz did that weren't Apple. Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak. Well, of course, they started Apple. Woz designed the hardware. Jobs propelled the business. They're intertwined in the lore as the people who made Apple. But that's not the only thing they did. Heck, it's not the only thing they did together. Here are the top 5 things Jobs and Woz did that weren't Apple. Number 5, Hewlett-Packard. Steve Wozniak had a job at Hewlett-Packard designing calculators. Steve Jobs got a summer job at Hewlett-Packard working on a mainframe computer, and that's when the two got to know each other really well that summer. Coming in at number 4, blue boxes. Jobs and Wozniak's first business together was selling blue boxes in October 1971. These were devices that generated the tones that let users make long-distance phone calls for free. Wozniak built them. Jobs sold around 200 of them, and they also got robbed together once while they were trying to sell one of those blue boxes. Up to number 3, Breakout. Turnabout came in 1973 when Jobs worked at Atari, helping make the circuit boards for the arcade version of Breakout. To earn $100 bonuses for eliminating the need for chips on the board, Jobs offered to split the bonus with Wozniak. Woz reduced the chips by 50, though the prototype lacked scoring and coin mechanisms, so it was never used in a shipping product. Sliding in at number 2, the US Festival. Not everything the pair did outside Apple was together. Wozniak took a leave of absence from Apple in 1981 after a plane crash, and he partnered with concert promoter Bill Graham, legendary concert promoter Bill Graham, to put on 2 US festivals near San Bernardino, California. Some of the headline acts were David Bowie, Van Halen, Men at Work. The second show during the 1983 U.S. Memorial Day weekend drew a record 670,000 people. Despite the attendance, each of these shows lost an estimated $12 million. At number 1, Next and Pixar. Steve Jobs' non-Apple enterprises were fairly successful. Next Computers began by building workstations that students could afford, but it was its operating system, Next Step, that became its main product. Apple acquired Next in 1997, and that brought Jobs back to Apple and gave them the operating system, which evolved into OS X. Jobs also acquired Pixar from George Lucas in 1986 and took it from being a hardware and software company to a movie-making powerhouse that Disney bought in 2006. Whether together or separate, there is no denying that Jobs and Woz are an iconic and successful pair in the annals of tech history. So tip all the hats. And if you want more great tech news and info, subscribe to our channel, youtube.com/Daily Tech News Show, and get the podcast at dailytechnewsshow.com. If you can, help support us at patreon.com/DTNS. I'll see you there.
Cool. Good.
All right.
You have all your lights on, right? Right now?
Oh, no, that one's not on. I just noticed that, and I don't have glare on my glasses because of it.
I was noticing,
but
like,
it's dark over there.
Yeah, but I was noticing, like, your glasses look really sharp today.
Yeah. That's an accident. I don't know why that one's not on.
Huh. I mean, I'm fine with it off, but I just
Yeah. No,
curious.
I didn't even notice it until you said something about it.
Oh, wait, that's the window, though, when you do that.
No, that's the light.
Oh.
When I do that. Yeah.
Huh. I didn't notice that glare, so as long as you keep your head in the same position.
Yeah. And that's the natural position. On to the next one?
Yeah.
Okay. Elon Musk secrets. I'm just going to keep saying that creepily until I get my prompter ready. Okay.
What the hell was that?
Yeah, what was that?
I think that was window. Oh, no, that's my phone. That was telling me I should start the recording. But we're
good on you, phone.
Yeah, give yourself, let me see. You look, yeah, you're in focus. Cool. Give yourself a countdown and
right.
Start.
Here we go. 3, 2. I'm Tom Merritt from Daily Tech News Show. Here are 5 things you likely did not know about Elon Musk. Oh, Elon Musk. Just saying his name made you think of your opinion of him. Almost everyone has one. But love, hate, or otherwise, there's no denying the world is fascinated with him. But what do you really know about him? That he's South African? Sure. He's one of the richest people on earth, of course. But you want to know more, don't you? Then listen as I share with you my top 5 Elon Musk secrets. Number 5, he's Canadian. Yes, he's also South African, which is where he was born, but he got Canadian citizenship through his mother at age 18 and went to college at Queen's University in Kingston, Ontario. Coming in at number 4, his first Coming in at number 4, his first company was Zip2, a city guide software company he started with his brother in 1995. Compaq acquired that for $307 million in 1999. Musk took some of the money he made from that sale and co-founded a direct bank called X.com, which merged with Confinity in 2000 to form PayPal. When eBay bought PayPal, Musk took some of that money and founded SpaceX. Up to number 3, Musk hasn't killed anyone, but his father has. Errol Musk was acquitted on charges of manslaughter after shooting and killing 3 burglars who entered his South African home in 1998. Sliding in at number 2, Musk did not found Tesla. Tesla Motors was incorporated in July 2003 by Martin Eberhard and Mark Tarpenning. Elon Musk invested in the company in February 2004 with some of that eBay money, and he became its largest shareholder and the chairman of the board, and now he's CEO, and honestly, by now it's totally his company. At number 1, Musk taught himself to program from a Commodore VIC-20 manual. He sold his first program for $500 to PC and Office Technology magazine when he was 12. It was called Blastar for the Spectra Video Z80 microcomputer. All right, maybe these aren't secrets. I imagine a lot of you knew some of them, and one of you knew all of them because you're a super fan, but I bet a lot of you learned something, and I did too. If you want more great tech news and info, by gosh, subscribe to our channel. You can find it at youtube.com/dailytechnewsshow if you're not already there. And you can get our podcast at dailytechnewsshow.com. If you can, help support us, patreon.com/DTNS. Just a little value for value. I'll see you there.
That was good. Would you be able to do number 5 again, and then just half of number 4? There was like I think it was a StreamYard glitch, but
oh, it's probably not there in the thing, but I'll just do all of 4 and 5 again.
Paranoid.
Yeah. No, it's all good. All right, here we go. Number 5, he's Canadian. Yeah, he's also South African, which is where he was born, but he got Canadian citizenship through his mother at age 18 and went to college at Queen's University in Kingston, Ontario. Coming in at number 4, his first company was Zip2, a city guide software company he started with his brother in 1995. Compaq acquired it for $307 million in 1999. Musk took some of that money and co-founded a direct bank called X.com, which merged with Confinity in 2000 to form PayPal. When eBay bought PayPal, Musk took some of that money and founded SpaceX.
Awesome.
Party.
It's funny when you said the university in Kingston. I said, "What's the one in Quebec?" And immediately my head, for some reason, thought MacGyver University, but it's McGill.
McGill. Yeah. That's MacGyver University is a totally different kind of study plan than McGill. They don't give you any materials.
Yeah, well, they do, but it's not. You're gonna.
Well, yeah, they actually just give you a room full of normal stuff instead of specialized course materials. All right, on to the next one.
Yes.
All right, here we go. I will count myself in. 3, 2. I'm Tom Merritt from Daily Tech News Show. Here are the top 5 security vulnerabilities of 2022. One of the biggest security problems out there are known security vulnerabilities that have been patched. These are problems that they aren't getting fixed everywhere, so criminals just keep exploiting them. The security agencies of Australia, Canada, New Zealand, the United Kingdom, and the United States, aka the Five Eyes, not the Five Guys, that's burgers. These guys don't do burgers. Well, if they do burgers, I don't know about it. They do security. Anyway, the Five Eyes issued a list of the most exploited security flaws of 2022. So the list is meant as a nudge to these organizations to address these flaws. Here are the top 5 security vulnerabilities of 2022. Number 5, let's use the catchy CVE names, shall we? This one's called CVE 2021-44228, but you can call it Log4Shell. A rather notorious bug in Apache's Log4j logging module, one of the few vulnerabilities to score a perfect 10 out of 10 on critical risk from NIST. This one has been mitigated, patched, and repatched. The last patch came from Oracle in January 2022. There's almost no way your CISO hasn't heard of this. Coming in at number 4, CVE 2021-26084, the Atlassian Confluence bug. This is not a Star Trek disease, it's a computer vulnerability. This one affects organizations running the Confluence server and data center. It was patched in July 2021. Up to number 3, the old favorite, CVE 2021-40539, a REST API authentication bypass in Zoho's password management solution. Do you use Zoho services? You should patch this if you haven't already. It was patched in September 2021. Sliding into number 2, we're going to group together 3 Microsoft Exchange proxy shell vulnerabilities. They're all from 2021. 34473 is a remote code execution flaw. That one was patched in July 2021. 31207 is a security bypass flaw. That one was patched in May of 2021. And 34523 is a privilege elevation bug. That one was patched in July 2021. Point being, they're all patched. At number 1, CVE 2018-13379, Fortinet's SSL VPN credential exposure flaw. This one was fixed in 2019, and yet 3 years later, still topping the list. The point here is that these were all patched in 2021 or before, and yet continued to be exploited throughout 2022 in large enough numbers to make the top list of exploited vulnerabilities from 5 of the biggest intelligence agencies on the planet. So, as my friend Bart Bouchat says, patchy patch patch. And if you want more great tech news and info, subscribe to our channel, youtube.com/Daily Tech News Show. We have a podcast. Do you like the podcast in your ears? Go to dailytechnewsshow.com. And if you get some value out of this, maybe give a little value back at our Patreon, patreon.com/DTNS. We'll see you there.
Cool. I was wondering if you could do you have a gain? I'm wondering, I only noticed this on number 1, but it seemed to get a little hot at the top when you did the Fortinet, like you.
Okay. Number 1.
Yeah.
I mean,
if
I have lots of things to turn myself down. Is what you're saying? You'd like me to lower the volume?
Yeah, just
because I'm not peaking. I'm not peaking here.
Okay.
So
well, then don't touch it. Then don't touch it. It could just
okay.
be the way StreamYard's sending it to me.
But let me do it again, just so that you don't hear it. Okay. Good. At number 1, CVE 2018-13379. Fortinet's SSL VPN credential exposure flaw. This one was fixed in 2019, and yet 3 years later, still topping the list.
Good.
All right. Is that better?
Yep.
Alrighty then. right. On to the next one, which will be military technologies. You know, like the guns and the bombs.
Camo fatigues. I see a lot of those, especially in sporting goods stores.
All right. Ready?
Cool.
Here we go. In 3, 2.
Before you start,
What's the matter?
when you start, you're a little closer to the mic than you're normally, so it's that distance right there. Keep that distance. Go. From the mic, it was a little distorted just right there, but you're fine right now.
Yeah, I'm not going to be able. The reason I'm not saying anything is I'm going to be moving around while I talk, or else it's going to look weird.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if there's something else we should do. And I can just turn myself down a little.
Just a hair.
I'm Tom Merritt for Daily Tech News Show. Here are the top 5 reasons I shouldn't have turned myself down just now.
Sounds good.
All right. Cool. Here we go. In 3, 2. I'm Tom Merritt from Daily Tech News Show. Here are the top 5 military technologies we all use every day. Maybe not every day. Contrary to what popular culture might lead you to believe, military technology isn't just about guns and explosions. In fact, you probably used some kind of military technology today, maybe several times. Let's see some examples. Here are the top 5 military technologies civilians use every day. Number 5, drones, aka unmanned aerial vehicles. Whether it's for film production, emergency services, just as a hobby, quadcopters and other kinds of drones have become a feature of modern life. The use of unmanned aerial vehicles started more than a century ago when Austrian forces laid siege to Venice using incendiary balloons. I mean, since then, militaries have developed more sophisticated ways to use remotely piloted aircraft in missions too dangerous or expensive for manned aircraft. And today, drones, both big and small, are a normal part of any military's arsenal and a regular favorite of photographers. Coming in at number 4, handheld two-way radio. The handheld two-way radio was developed for the U.S. Army during World War II as a replacement for that big bulky backpack you see in the old movies sometimes. Motorola's SCR 536 Handy Talkie was the first widely used model, had a 3-foot-long antenna, weighed about 5 pounds, and had a 1-mile range over land, extending to 3 miles over saltwater. After the war, surplus radios found their way into civilian hands, and now folks just use them while camping and stuff. Up to number 3, radar, the machine, not the character from MASH. Radio detection and ranging, or radar, bounces radio signals off objects and monitors the return signal to determine about where the object is. It was used by all parties in World War II, and after the war, radar made its way into civil aviation as a safety tool, both at airports, of course, and inside planes. Other civil uses for the technology include meteorology and traffic enforcement. Sliding into number 2, satellite navigation systems. The U.S. Department of Defense developed the use of orbiting satellites for navigation starting in 1973. Civilian use was allowed by executive order after a Korean airliner was shot down when the pilot accidentally flew into the USSR in 1983. Subsequent directives have made GPS free and undegraded for civilian use. And while GPS is the best known satellite navigation system, there are others, including Europe's Galileo, Russia's GLONASS, and China's Beidou. At number 1, the internet. I'm on it right now. In the mid-1960s, the Pentagon's Advanced Research Projects Agency, aka DARPA, funded a project to create a distributed computer network to share computing resources between labs. And, it could also maintain command and control in the event of a nuclear attack. Nice side benefit. And today we use it for memes. Now, this isn't an exhaustive list of all the technologies used in civilian life that could be traced back to military research and development, but what would you add? Let us know in the comments. And if you'd like more great tech news and info, be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hit that like and subscribe button. If you're not on YouTube, for some reason, youtube.com/Daily Tech News Show. We have a podcast, dailytechnewsshow.com. And if you get a little value, maybe drop a few coins at patreon.com/DTNS. I'll see you there.
Cool. Would you be able to do 5 over again? You flubbed emergency services.
Okay.
And then when you talked about Austrian, you stuttered on Austrian.
I always stutter on Austrians. They just make me nervous. Right. Just 5?
Yes.
Okay. 3, 2. Number 5. Drones, aka unmanned aerial vehicles. Whether it's for film production, emergency services, or just as a hobby, quadcopters and other kinds of drones have become a feature of modern life. The use of unmanned aerial vehicles started more than a century ago when Austrian forces laid siege to Venice using incendiary balloons. Since then, of course, militaries have developed more sophisticated ways to use remotely piloted aircraft in missions too dangerous or expensive for manned aircraft. Should we say crude?
Yeah, you could say crude. Just pick it up from the since then.
I mean, I'll do the whole thing just so I lead in. You don't have to use it all, but. At number 5, drones, aka unmanned aerial vehicles. Whether it's for film production, emergency services, or just as a hobby, quadcopters and other kinds of drones have become a feature of modern life. The use of unmanned aerial vehicles started more than a century ago when Austrian forces laid siege to Venice using incendiary balloons. Of course, since then, militaries have developed more sophisticated ways to use remotely piloted aircraft in missions too dangerous or expensive for crewed aircraft. Today, drones, both big and small, are a normal part of any military's arsenal and a regular favorite of photographers.
Cool.
All right.
Say dos mas and then done.
Dos mas. All right. Hold on a second. I have someone asking me a question. Okay. Top 5 greatest game characters.
Uh-oh.
Now, live audience, I'm going to give you a little fun game. The last 2 top 5s we're recording today are about video games. One of them was written, Roger and I work on each other's scripts, but one of them was originated and mostly written by Roger, and the other one mostly by me. Which one was which? Can you guess? Can you tell? Hopefully not. Hopefully they can't tell. But
all
right.
Count yourself in.
All right, here we go. 3, 2. I'm Tom Merritt for Daily Tech News Show. Here are the top 5 greatest game characters. Video game characters live in our heads. After a marathon session, you see them jumping, shooting, rolling through your mind, even when your eyes are closed. We're even starting to see good versions of movies and TV series based on them. But who among them is the greatest? Now, we all may have different views, but here are the greatest video game characters of all time. At number 5, the ball from Pong. Pong wasn't the first video game, but a game very much like it was, and Pong was the video game of the 1970s. Atari was built on Pong, and the entire video game industry built on Atari. So hats off for the bouncy ball that started it all. Coming in at number 4, GLaDOS, a character you almost never see, and yet their voice will ring through your ears for days after you finish playing any version of Portal. I can't think of a more memorable video game villain than GLaDOS. Plus, GLaDOS had a hit song. Up to number 3, Bo Jackson in Tecmo Bowl. The only character on this list based closely on a real person, and the only real person to be desired is essentially a cheat code in gaming. I mean, if you played Bo Jackson, you won. After all, Bo knows all sorts of things, so why not winning at Tecmo Bowl too? Sliding in at number 2, Link from Legend of Zelda. I suspect you could put out a Nintendo game that was just Link standing in a field, jumping and going, huh, and it would set records. Link is so pervasive. There's a good chunk of you who are listening to me right now who never played the game, but you know who Link is. You just thought Link's name was Zelda. At number 1, Jumpman. Well, you know him as Mario. He has appeared in more than 200 games, multiple series, and several movies. He was originally a carpenter before he became a plumber, but he's a tradesman nonetheless, and man, he cannot stay away from mushrooms. I know. Master Chief, Pikachu, I left Doom Guy off this list. I included the Pong ball, but not the Running Man from Intellivision. 5 is just a really small number, folks. Extend this list with your favorite video game characters of all time in the comments. And who knows, maybe we'll count down a fan response version later. Also, the cake is a lie. And if you want more great tech news and info, subscribe to our channel, youtube.com/Daily Tech News Show. Get the podcast in your ears, dailytechnewsshow.com. And if you get a little value out of this, support us at patreon.com/DTNS. I'll see you there.
Cool. Would you do the first paragraph?
First, like the open?
Yeah, the video game.
Yeah.
The only reason why is I think when you put your hand down, you hit your chair or the desk.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. I prematurely canceled out of the prompter, so let me get back. All right. 3, 2. Video game characters live in our heads. After a marathon session, you see them jumping, shooting, rolling through your mind, even when your eyes are closed. When your eyes are closed, you can't see the prompter and you lose your... Here, okay, let me start this. 3, 2. Video game characters live in our heads. After a marathon session, you see them jumping, shooting, rolling through your mind, even when your eyes are closed. We're even starting to see good versions of movies and TV series based on them. But who among them is the greatest? Now, we all may have different views, but here are the greatest video game characters of all time.
Cool.
Okay. And once again, for the live listeners, of these 2 video game related top 5s, I'm about to do the second one. Which of these was written majority by me and which by Roger? The difficulty is that some of the funniest lines in the one written by me were written by Roger, and likewise the opposite.
You'll never... Oh, maybe you will.
Well, we'll tell you actually, so you will know. But you wouldn't know otherwise. All right. Ready?
Yes. Hold on, let me look at you real quick. You look in focus. Maybe it's that light that does it. Who knows?
Here we go. In 3. Oh, wait. I should wait for the thing to catch up. 3, 2. I'm Tom Merritt from Daily Tech News Show. Here are the 5 wildest game consoles ever made. Video game consoles are great. I mean, you can play video games on them, of course, or give your thumbs a rest and watch movies and TV shows, maybe listen to a little music and a whole bunch of other things. But it wasn't always that way. It took game consoles multiple tries to get it right. And along the way, there were some pretty unusual, dare I say absolutely bonkers game console designs in the process. So here are the top 5 game console oddballs. Up to number 5, Hyperscan. The Hyperscan was Mattel's attempt at cashing in on the popularity of collectible card gaming in 2006. For every Hyperscan CD game, Mattel sold booster packs of RFID-enabled cards. You could scan in a boost card to get special power-ups and abilities for your in-game characters. Now, doesn't sound bad, right? It's like an early version of Amiibos. But the console suffered from poor quality games, underpowered hardware, and a temperamental RFID reader. Also long load times, but to its credit, the Hyperscan was the first game console to offer RFID functionality, so it had that going for it. Number 4, Virtual Boy. It's fair to say Nintendo has made bold choices when it comes to hardware over the years, but none were quite as bizarre as the Virtual Boy. The 1995 console was pitched as the first game system with stereoscopic 3D graphics. It resembled a VR headset on thin metal legs that needed to be placed on a table or desk. And then to play, you put your head against the console's eyepiece where you would see red monochrome graphics. Along with a high price tag and a thin lineup of games, the system came with reports of dizziness, nausea, and headaches. How fun! Nintendo discontinued the system a year after its release. Coming in at number 3, Telstar Arcade. Coleco's first console was not ColecoVision, it was Telstar. This was actually a series of game consoles that played Pong-style games. The most advanced of them was the Telstar Arcade, released in 1977. It was a triangle. Each side of the triangle had a unique integrated controller. There was a steering wheel with throttle level, a light gun shaped like a revolver, and a pair of Pong paddles. Even the cartridges were triangular. The idea of an integrated steering wheel with a game console didn't return until the development of the canceled Konix multi-system a decade later. The triangular game console has never really returned. Sliding in at number 2, Casio Loopy. Undaunted by the flop of their mid-80s console, the PV-1000, Casio came back in 1995 with the Loopy. Loopy, aka My Seal Computer Model SV100, featured a built-in thermal printer that let you print images like stickers. So you could use your game's dress-up elements to make stickers. Accessories included a mouse and an AV capture device to grab images from a video device like your VCR and add text to it for printing. Casio stopped production of the Loopy in 1998. At number 1, it's a tie. The Action Max and the ViewMaster Interactive Vision both used VHS tapes and your VCR to play its games. You hooked up the Action Max to your VCR and played the tape, then played the game with a light gun. The console registered and displayed your hit scores, and that's it. There were 5 games. ViewMaster's Interactive Vision was a bit more sophisticated. It actually generated its own graphics synced to the video and had an actual game controller. Games featured Sesame Street, Muppets, or Disney characters. These video game console oddballs are simultaneously charming for their inventiveness, but also a bit of an object lesson in being too clever for your own good. What video game consoles would you put on this list? Let us know. And if you want more great tech news and info, head on over to our channel. If you're not there already, youtube.com/Daily Tech News Show. Click that subscribe button. Get the podcast in your ears at dailytechnewsshow.com. And if you get some value out of what we do, please support us on Patreon, patreon.com/DTNS. I'll see you there.
Cool. If you could just do the one line and say a steering wheel with a throttle lever.
You don't want me to just do the whole thing?
Oh, if you want to do the whole thing, that'd be cool.
This is the
Number 3.
Yeah.
Telstar Arcade.
Yeah, I don't mind doing the whole thing. It just makes it smooth. All right.
Cool.
3, 2. Coming in at number 3, Telstar Arcade. Coleco's first console was not ColecoVision. It was Telstar, a series of game consoles that played Pong-style games. The most advanced of the series was the Telstar Arcade, released in 1977. It was a triangle. Each side of the triangle featured a unique integrated controller, a steering wheel with throttle level, a light gun shaped like a revolver, and a pair of Pong paddles. Even the cartridges were triangular. The idea of an integrated steering wheel with a game console did not return until the development of the canceled Konix multi-system a decade later. The triangular game console has never really returned.
Cool. I think we're done.
I think we are. All right, make your guesses. Best video game characters, oddball game consoles. Who wrote which one? Can I hear them again? No, PC Milesy. You may not. You may not hear them again. Technomunch thinks they're all in agreement. I wrote number 1, which was the characters one, and Roger wrote number 2, the oddballs. Is Technomunch correct? Ryan agrees with Technomunch. So he wants me to do them again. I'm not doing them again. You have plenty of rereads. Ryan slated the proposal and Technomensch carried the motion. I see. Are there any in dispute? Well, Roger, should we reveal? It looks like they all unified behind a slate of I wrote the first one.
Yeah, what did they say?
Yeah, I'm curious of the reasoning. I wasn't following chat while I was recording. Like, why do you think it was number 1? Sang is going against. Roger is 1, Tom is 2.
Oh, he's a betting person.
So we have a contrary. We have a loyal opposition from Sang. Thanks. Roger wrote the video game characters, and I wrote the weird consoles. Roger and I are very curious why you all think that, because we know which one of you is correct. We'll wait while you tell us. Explain yourselves. Can't put a finger on why. The Bo Jackson reference? Interesting. Okay. Bo knows. Interesting.
Yeah, that's interesting, since Tom and I are, well, Tom is older than me, but not by
only
much.
by a couple of years. Yeah, not by much. Just seemed more you. Okay. All right. Just a gut feeling. Yeah. Okay. So I originated the video game characters and Roger originated the oddball consoles. But I believe, Roger, you wrote the Bo Jackson line.
Yes, I did.
So that's why saying you weren't wrong with the Bo Jackson reference. Because Roger did write that part.
I wrote the Bo Jackson reference because I saw Bo Jackson. It's like that was his thing when he did the game commercial.
So you were on to something. It was just Roger wrote that part, even though he didn't write the whole thing. Because they're all collaborations. Really. We're
all collaborators in the end.
Yeah. We're all collaborationists in the end. Yeah. Well, because basically what happens is one of us will write the first draft, and then the other one will go in and look at it and like add little bits, punch it up, make some tweaks, etc. Then the other one will give one last look to that. So the majority of it comes from whoever wrote the first draft, but it does get mixed up. Also, we had, I want to correct this. We had factual errors that I ad-libbed in the top 5 exploits.
Oh,
They were typos, but they were, the kind of typos that make something not true. Let's see. Security vulnerabilities that haven't been patched. They have. The whole point of the thing was that they have. And then what was the other thing that I saw? I think there was another thing similar to that. They're all patched.
then I'll edit out the they haven't.
Yeah, I didn't say haven't. I ad-libbed
Good.
it correctly. So you shouldn't have to edit anything. Oh, it's a typo. Zoho. That's all it was. It was written XOHO. That's not that big of a deal. Okay. They're
Cool.
fixed. Cool. Well, there you go, folks. Hope that was fun.
Yeah, you get to see behind the curtain. And if you haven't already, please check out all the episodes that have come out during Experiment Week. A lot of folks have been wanting to try some new things, and yeah, today's episode is great if you're into AI.
Yeah,
Monday's
they did
episode
it.
was
They
great.
did it. I'm looking forward to that show because that one's definitely turning into their own show, right?
Yes. And I know Tristan. I met Tasia once at CES for like 10 minutes. But I know Tristan forever. So
No, Stoic Squirrel, you can't see behind the bookshelf. It's just a wall. There's nothing behind the bookshelf.
there's nothing behind the
Yeah.
behind the green screen. I mean the wall.
Yeah.
No.
Which book would you like me to take down? That'll prove it's not a green screen. Just tell me a book and I will pull it off the shelf and show it to you. So prove it's not a green screen. Yeah, what's Tristan's co-host's name again?
Oh, Tasia Custodian.
Tasia. We should get her on D2Nest. She was great.
Yeah, I was thinking that like
We should
for-
invite her. Maybe she didn't want to come. I don't know.
I'll see. Like I don't want to deal with these riffraff. We're not.
Well, I'm just thinking when you say like we should get someone on, it sounds kind of pushy. Like, what if they don't want to come on?
I will invite them.
That happens a lot where people are like, you should get this person on. I'm like, I'd love to. They do not appear to be free to come on this show. That's not true of either of these people.
I mean, it's not like I'm going to go down there with a pitchfork.
Okay. Ryan, are you saying I should take this off the wall? When you say ace detect, you want me to pull this out?
He says, "Yep." That's some.
There you go.
See, folks, that's what money can get you. High quality visual effects that make it look like he's holding.
It looks like I'm actually holding it. The bad part is that now I have to put it back.
Yeah. The collector's dilemma.
Yeah.
Why should I showcase these when I just have to put them back in?
I have your bacon here, Zoe.
It's pork's answer to, wait, cows don't have bacon, do they? Is there like a bacon equivalent?
That's a great question. What would be the equivalent of bacon with beef? And then someone said the 2600. It's not Atari 2600. It's 2600 a hacker. The hacker.
Oh yeah, it's what's his?
compilation of it.
I always forget his name. I want to say Emil Hirsch, but that's an actor.
Yes, that is a TI 99100. TI 99 4A. TI 99 4A.
Cow can? No cow can. Oh, cow can. He meant on shelf. I thought he was referring to what the cow equivalent of bacon was.
Oh, Calkin, like bacon. Yeah. I see. I get it.
Yeah, but you can make anything a jerky, right? Ryan in Minneapolis.
Yeah, if you get it upset enough.
Or you put in enough salt, let it sit out for a
If
while.
you exhaust its patience enough, anything gets jerky.
But yeah, no, it's been a great week. It's great listening to new shows. those things out.
Yeah, we had great response to your Kate interview, which was awesome.
Yeah,
On Monday.
I was glad Kate responded to my email. I definitely want to get Scott Harriet if he's around.
Yeah, that definitely feels like something. I don't know how the right arena for it. Like, should it be its own thing or a Patreon thing or whatever? But
Yeah, no, it's fun. It's
definitely, if you want to keep doing that, that should keep happening somehow. In fact, why don't you do another one tomorrow?
That sounds like a good idea. I'll get right on it, Tom.
Yeah, see if you can find. I don't know. Jen Cutter might be available. Just Russell.
Yeah. I will say that fun fact: Jen Cutter used to work at G4 Canada. So.
Yeah. Jen did Daily Tech Headlines this morning. I don't know. If
I saw that. It's great.
Yeah.
Good to hear her voice again.
Yeah. It was good. She said it was like falling off a bike. Maybe she said like riding a bike. I don't know. One of those.
More like a bike falling on me when I was at the store trying to get my kid a bike. But then they don't want a bike, so what's the point? You can't force them, right? You can't force a kid on a bike. I mean, you can force a kid on a bike, but
you can't make him drink.
Yeah, you can't make him. You can't make him move. Like, what kid doesn't want a bike? Am I that out of touch with what the youth are into that bicycles are no longer considered like a thing to have? I don't understand the young.
Oh, you're welcome, Technomensch. I'm glad that Roger was amenable and we could make it happen. I have to go get ready for my interview with Lamar Wilson.
Lamar Wilson.
At 3:00. I'm doing an episode of A Word with Lamar Wilson. He'll be the first repeat guest, I believe. I haven't done a repeat guest yet. I know I have another repeat guest planned, but I don't think I did an episode with her.
Well, if you see repeat, tell him I said hello.
Rerun. If I see Rerun. He lives here. Rerun, I think. Or wait, no. Actually, I think he lives in the East Coast.
Yeah.
Bye, PC Milesy.
All right. See you guys.
I guess we're